Welcome to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com. Hope everything's going well for you guys. Happy Wednesday as I'm making this video. I do want to talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw, my thoughts, my reactions. And that was from, today's the 24th, April the 22nd, 2019. First Raw after the shakedown. And in the ring there, we all have the opening segment there. We have guys like Seth Rollins, who's your champ. Got a pop. Let's burn it down. Everyone was in. Respectable pop. He will be the champion. It will be interesting to see what type of reaction he gets as your champ. How he will be pushing the merch. Where we were in his hometown there, home state rather, Iowa. So we got that nice pop. Then we had guys like Drew McIntyre. No reaction there. Miz, okay, I guess. Baron Corbin, who some people hate. I actually like Baron Corbin. I like him to the point where he just annoys everyone. That's why I like him so much. But he really didn't get a reaction. So there are a whole bunch of guys there now on the top tier of Raw, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, but these are your guys now. Where are these monster reactions? These are your guys that will be, headlining, running the circuits on the house shows for Raw. These are going to be your main event players. And that reaction in that opening segment was less than. It wasn't the greatest. Or are we going to blame Iowa? Did Iowa forget to show up this weekend on Raw? Is that what we're going to say? I don't know. But that's just my initial reaction. Not much of a reaction in that first segment for your guys leading the flagship show for, whatever you guys, however you, to me, it's always been treated as the flagship show. We've seen Bobby Roode no longer known as Bobby Roode, now known as Robert Roode. Changed up his look, and him initially, immediately, right when I saw Robert Roode, I am me with the new mustache now. Just looking at him facially, he looks, he looks like a ravishing Rick Rude. Plus the robe that he wears, similar to what Ravishing Rick Rude wore. I'm just thinking Rick Rude. And Robert Roode with this no longer in a tag team. I just think back to Robert Roode when he was the It Factor on TNA, running as heel and as their champion. He is just naturally suited as a heel, being a heel, which I know he played a heel in NXT. Then when he was called up, he was pretty much a face the whole time, and it just seemed like he was a fish out of water with that. So it's good to see now. Call him Robert Roode. Call him the It Factor, because I think now that he's heel again, I think he's going to definitely do some things. The question is it a little bit too late now at this point? Speaking about a little bit too late, and I know that the internet and and to be fair, a lot of wrestling fans were up in arms about the tag team from NXT, War Raiders, being initially called the Viking Experience. Well, this week they had a new name. Name was changed, and it was called now they're referred to as the Viking Raiders. Now is your chance, wrestling fans. I mean, everyone clamored, their name sucks after Raw, everywhere on Twitter, and that first week when they were introduced in the co-op. Their name sucks. How can you call them the Viking Experience? So, say what you want to say. The WWE did listen. They changed their name. Here they debut in Iowa again. And where was the reaction? Where was this reaction for the Viking Raiders? This is what you guys wanted. They were, they were giving the bad a bad shake on things, and the WWE listened, and the best that you could do is give a indifferent reaction. What happened, I might even argue with you that yes, the name was bad, the Viking Experience, but it's almost like you kind of expected, or at least I expected, that the name would be changed when they got called up from NXT. I mean, how are you going to explain to the advertisers and the sponsors when they ask, what is a War Raider? So I kind of seen the name. Yeah, the name change wasn't the best, but it gave them a buzz that first week, and then in the second week that buzz seemed to be like, unless are we gonna toss it up with Iowa just completely forgetting to show up on Monday. So we'll see what happens. I know it's different circumstances, two different things, different scenarios. But I think of like a team that was highly touted, and I don't think it's to that point where their name Viking Experience maybe already damaged them. So I don't think that. I just I think of a team that was highly touted. The AOP, Authors of Pain, highly touted. They come up here, lose Paul Ellering, get Rockstar Spud as your manager. That faltered, and then they, one of the guys got injured, and then it's just, and there they are. So, let's just be cautious, and let's just be cautious is all I could say, and let's see how this works out. I mean, you got to get the crowd vested and behind you. We'll see what happens for the Viking Raiders. We also seen the Usos in the backstage promo. They, saying how they're running through. They're going to be looking to put Raw on Uso Penitentiary, and out come the Revival. And you know how the Usos cut their promo now. They reinvented themselves. Kind of went to an urban look, and with that, they changed their promo. Pretty good promo, back and forth. They do, and promos are very entertaining. So anyway, they're doing this promo. Out comes the Revival. Revival interjects to say a line or two, and the Usos are pretending that they're sleeping. Yes, unfortunately, that is how, as much as some hate to admit it, that's really what the Revival has been doing lately, and that's unfortunately still the Revival is not beginning a reaction. And one might argue what the Usos did in falling asleep is in actuality what the Revival does when they come on TV, is put people to sleep. You know, you gotta connect with the audience. You gotta do something. Speaking of connection, how about what we've seen, the new vignettes for Bray Wyatt? Firefly Funhouse. Firefly Funhouse. And a lot of people already are knocking this, saying this is corny. What's going on here? They killed Bray Wyatt. What was wrong with the old Bray Wyatt? And listen, nothing was wrong with the old Bray Wyatt. I liked it. The management apparently did not like it. So here we are. And what I could tell you is what Bray Wyatt looks to be in phenomenal shape. And I think this storyline, this new character that they have for him, has potential to be, and I don't think it's what a lot of people on the internet are projecting it to be, where it's kind of a corny situation and PG. I don't think it's that at all. I think it's a very it's going to be a very sadistic character. I mean, the guy's using a chainsaw with a sadistic laugh. You gotta let things play out, and that's what I'll say. I think this has definitely good potential, a lot of potential. This has potential to introduce a character like Sister Abigail, and I think that's something that you might see in future vignettes. The guy's using a chainsaw. This is going to be a sick and twisted character. Maybe a character that maybe has like multiple personalities. He thinks he's a good guy. He's reformed. He's changed. But then the voices in his head speak, or something snaps where he reverts to what he was prior, and he's trying to fight the battle within himself, but he can't control himself. I mean, it has many different potentials here. I just worry that with for the casual in this modern age where everything has to be politically correct, no one could be offended. If someone is a casual wrestling fan and is watching this and hears children in the background, or maybe doesn't watch the whole vignette, and hears children in the background and him talking to children, and then all of a sudden they see a chainsaw, hear a maniacal laugh, they're like, why is my kid supposed to watch this? Why is this character trying to scare my kid? That's what I see happening. That's why I hope doesn't happen. I could see that happening in the modern age of how everyone wants to complain and everyone is offended by everything. So I hope WWE is able to kind of weather that storm. And that's what that's what I worry about. Whatever a character is edgy, is different, is not your, standard, when a character has many layers to it, as it looks like this Bray Wyatt character will have, has potential to be great, as long as its legs are not cut. I think back to a character that had a ton of potential, Muhammad Hassan. Legs got chopped off from that character. Think about, Jack Swagger when he was, We the People with Dutch Mantel there back then. The legs were taken off that character as well, killed it. So I just hope the PC culture that we're in, and I just hope the WWE does not cave into it. Your tag team champions, the Iconics, and your tag team champions of Ryder and Hawkins. Are we supposed to take them, or do you guys take them seriously as champions? Because they definitely seem to be losing often. Non-title matches and singles competition, and particularly the Iconics. Especially if you're building up a division, a women's division. Try to build these girls up. How are we supposed to take them seriously? How are we supposed to take the tag team division seriously, where the prior champions held it for a short period of time, and now the current champions are being beat in singles competition all the time? How are we supposed to take this seriously? Not good booking. For me, anyway. Cedric Alexander, once again, being called up to Monday Night Raw. He's been on Raw before, and again, I'll say it again. Before then, he didn't get a reaction then. Didn't get a reaction now. Are we blaming Iowa for this? Was the crowd just dead? Was it asleep? Which I think might be the common theme here. I don't know. Where do you see Cedric Alexander going? Is he just kind of, filler, so to speak? Do you see him winning a title on Raw? Just some of my thoughts from Raw. Really, the main thing that come out of there is Bray Wyatt. Interested to see what we'll see going forward from the vignettes, the re-debut of Bray Wyatt. I hope everything is going well, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.